Honestly, trying to lead a simple life in my own dimension. So if I talk for a piece, it's clearly recollection. If I refer to a higher being, that's because we have a connection, but this negativity is affecting my self-progression. It's all self-reflection. Should I mention that my intention when I vent what I vent is to talk with conviction and release my own tension? That's a fact, right? Day to day for me, sometimes it's like, that's an act, right? I'm gonna try to act right, but the only time I'm truly in my right mind is when I'm in my mind, right? That's what I find. I find out when I write using my right side, my mind gets right, I get life, I get wide, my perceptions of our deceptions become projections on real life. Trying to live in my own realm. You know, like my own realm. So as much as I'm speaking in a public place, you best believe I stay selective about who I'm talking around. See, I'm talking, but I'm talking without. My voice is my voice, yeah, but that depends on my mouth. My energy and thoughts, well, that's a different sound. Vibrations found in as words that come out. Truly, it's that translation of such sensitive information that can have me feeling away if it was received over the wrong frequency. I'm frequently trying to retune my own frequency, twisting that dial to find that right station and getting impatient with other complications, with outside interference, with negative connotations. They impact me daily. They disrupt my peace, so I don't want to go too deep. I don't think I'm ready. But my soul's been weak and my heart's so heavy. But when my flow's been hindered, now my flows steady. I'm going to talk about me so you don't forget me. No one on the street would never suspect me. A poet on heat until my words upset me, and I'm hard to undress. Deflection's my distraction while my real intent is to ignite your interest. So you can reflect on your reaction to a real empress. Where mathematically I fraction my need to impress with my need to be the best. Yes, I know I've got a complex. I was told I failed, so I need to feel successful. Not regretful. A handful of times I should have been more resentful. Last year had me mental. I mean the year before, but I was going mental. I knew a crown was there, I just assumed it was dental. Presented with just one wall, staring at this one wall. My vision so impaired I couldn't see it was a portal. I'm feeling thoughtful, a little resourceful. My mind was so sick I was feeling near mortal. Nah, I'm a force though. I'm a force, though. I'm a sequence of chemical reactions and combustion going custom decided to pressure and myself down limiting my functions when really I'm propane. Once you write that sodium on copper, I'm basically that flame. I'm basically fire. I'm trying. I'm choosing. I'm that force of a duking. I'm an unidentified, justified conscious man, an unconscious being who goes out sometimes to recite her rhymes for some spiritual healing in a room full of like-minded people. I mean like-minded beings. I got a minute on the mic one time, now I'm lyrically bleeding. My mind needs feeding. I like being read when it's me doing the reading. See, I don't want to go too deep. I don't think I'm ready. But my soul's been weak and my heart's so heavy. But when my flow's been hindered, now my flow flows steady. I have to talk about me so I don't forget me. I've been reminiscing. I've been wishing for a way to convey the things I need to say in such a short space and a fast pace to add to the way the words resonate when you listen. I've been feeling nostalgic over days. I thought I was about it. I used to walk around with those who couldn't doubt it. My self-esteem was like a light beam. It would beam in your eyes, making you blind. My light so bright, people would stop in my tracks as they stopped in my sight. I'd smile and walk by. At that very time when my very existence had no resistance. If people thought I was different, it's because I knew I was gifted. Young and ambitious, but then it was ridiculous. Sometimes I'd write so well, even I got suspicious. Don't get it twisted, I would take it on. And when my confidence is back, that kind of level's gone. Life came and took it, I put it back on my wish list. I had to go through things that made me pessimistic. I could have been a cynic, cold and ungiving. I apologised to God to ask for forgiveness. He had it scripted, I never listened. I'd only feel it, but 10 years on, it's got me strong in my realness. Yeah, I'm a realist will feel this. I stay one with my God because I know what the deal is. His words will heal it, my words will seal it. Certain times it's like I'm from bad minds that will steal it. You see, I've been broke. And I don't mean broke as a joke when you're out with your friends and you're drinking a mix of hope and they miss you around last round because you're down to your last pound. Can't even buy your own round to wash down the last as they laugh and the last topic that they shout because you're out but you can't eat now. I'm talking about the kind of broke you can't take to the shop and top up for hot water. You need hot water, so you resort to kettle, water, washes. It's a lot. When your plans for life stop still, it's a stop still. Still you don't stay still. I remember how I'd feel. Now I recall those times at my will. Now I love those occasions. They're my motivation and my past pain and the now in the making. I mean, I said I love those occasions. They're my motivation and my past pain and the now in the making. I remember claiming this little girl in my face and how my whole life changed overnight on that day and with nothing to give her. I cried me a river. Now I smile inside because I know I deliver. I'll never go back there. Back when I couldn't even afford to plait her hair. Katie had me on the sofa, gave me her comb and said, Jasmine here. I remember right there, nothing about pain that year. I remember right there, I learned about patience. I learned about creations, nothing to my name, but times are changing. I don't feel like a failure, so I'm not failing. There's no way, it's hard to explain, it's quite complicated. Just know I can't fail in this life, I must make it. I depend on my dependents. My legacy might be this, so it can't be suspended for my descendants. Shout out to pretend friends that can't have me round on the weekend on a pretense for information to help with their dissertation. I would work on that thing like it was for my graduation. Now we're estranged and you can walk past her. Hit me back on your masters, my words are art. I gotta be smart, I talk from my heart, I learn from my past. I respect myself. It's been a long time coming, but I protect myself. I control my emotions so I don't upset myself, and I stand on this stage so I don't neglect myself. This is for my health, this is for me time, this is for an outlet, this is for an insight, this is to explore my enlightenment. I love the wordplay. I love the wordplay. I love the words. I love the wordplay. I love the words and play with the words as the words play out in verse. They change, rearrange and emerge in a new way as I rehearse. They back the verse like the liner in my purse. I carry new lines. I come with one line. It's transcend the line. Transform your mind. It's appreciation. Some of the best lyrics I ever wrote were because of you, and I made them. 5:30 a.m. standing there waiting with a flow so strong I would train at that station. Determination. I memorized the whole thing. I stood on flow stage like, why are we waiting? I can't contain it. I need to say it, dive right in. Now I drive right in. I strive, I'm on a striving thing, a writing thing. Relax your mind and think. Back to the way I wandered, the way I beam in their eyes, making them blind. My light's so bright, people would stop in their tracks as they stopped in my side. I'd smile and walk by. Now I stop and say hi. Why? Because I deserve it. I think I earn it. I put the work in. I know I'm worth it. I know I'm worthy. I was reborn from the depths of my depression to emerge and to metamorphosize into who you now see. Like a phoenix rising from the ashes metaphorically, I appear in my true form to speak the truth fully to those who seek the truth fully, understanding the purpose of my creativity, positivity. Lyrically, I alchemize with words metaphysically, so I am physically here, but my mind is somewhere high. I say hi to remind myself where I reside. A heavenly place where my faith collides with a previous state of pain where my past survives. So now I've got issues, now I've got commitments to issues that affect this whole world if we're talking about circles. I've got commitments to issues that affect this whole world if we're talking about circles. I've got seeds that were planted and watered on dirt that deemed me too dirty for my dirt to ever be considered fertile. Like my shoots could never grow. Like when I shoot my shot, I'll never know. Had to keep my light bright enough or let the light shine enough to let the shine brighten up the seeds I've already sown. It's like I could never show how I've grown up and owned up to this throne stuff on my own stuff. If I show up and I glow up and I blow up, then we'll all know. Then we'll all know who's really down and who's down for the really, who's riding for me and who's riding with me, who clicks to applause me and who pauses to click me, who's down for the short and short for me, who understands my cause. Who wants to throw me off course? Who wants to grow the discord? Who wants to highlight my flaws? Who wants to stir in my sauce? Who wants to tell me of course? Who wants to see me take flights? But then hate when I saw. I got strange commitments to lenders, suppliers and vendors. I stopped watching time vendors. I post what my senders send lessons and messages. It's with amphetamines. Left with a sediment to kickstart their adrenaline is evident, irrelevant. Sometimes it makes me hesitant. Sometimes I feel irrational. Sometimes I feel benevolent. Desperately trying to mind my own biz. But honestly, it's proving to only be lethal. Yes, I am urban, but subject to change when I change up my ways and I'm speaking to new people. Yes, I am Asian. Yes, I am regal. No, it doesn't add up. Yes, as I'm equal. People will see you, deceive and mistreat you. Then watch you set that bar high enough just for them to use it to beat you. Make attempts to defeat you. I need you to desperately deep how I deep what I've been through. You see, I was wrestling with a darker force, WWF into my knowledge of self and left, and in this pace something else had crept in. I came to that stage to start venting. Righteous with a whole arranged for my painting. Crisis with a common stage that I went with, stifled by the weight of ways I pretended. My dreams were demented, the walls felt fermented. I discontented, felt so tormented until I presented. And then I ascended. I hovered there, centered, I landed attentive. I knew what I had to do just to get mended. I apologized to God, so say I repented. I never planned it, it just happened. Now I teach repent ed from my head for the madness. Now I seek redemption for my sins for the sadness. To take the edge off. I backed off that ledge cause there on the ledge I was jamming with a sledge for the next dragon. I stood standing, watering my wagon from when I conquered that cracker, the cracker that I dragged in the beginning. No one could fathom, I come and kill the damn thing. I couldn't even swim. Now I have to look at the levels of the legends in the room that I stand in. It's outstanding, it's honestly a mad thing. See?